elevating form creation process with Form Guardian, empowering comprehensive validations and error guidance. So set comprehensive validations and you'll have error messages for your guidance and ensure your submission criteria are met, and expansion of Form Guardian will be our agenda for today. We'll be starting off with that. And let me just bring one of my workspaces to show how Form Guardian works. So as always, we'll get started with our settings and we'll go to our first branch itself. And under general preferences, you could see the forms. And as we all know that we can create forms under all of these modules. Right now, the first important point, we have introduced our Form Guardian under employees. So you come here and you can see the list of employee forms here. So I'll be creating a new employee form. So employee form new. First thing, I'm not going to assign any staff to it. So every staff will have an access to this particular form. Now we need to add in the fields. So I'll be adding the fields like this. Yes. Now you can see right in the selected column section, you can add a group as well. So let me just add a group and I'll bring the group like this. And there's a reason why I'm doing it, and you will get to see why. So what are the name, date of birth, gender, and all of these comes under? It comes under personal details, right? So I can group it. Now, if you want to change the grouping also, you can do it. You can drag and drop it. You can simply delete it if you want to. Then it'll be going into the general field section. You can re-add it if you want to. Everything is possible. Right now, yeah. Then let's add another group called current address. I'll be adding all this under current address. Then I'll be adding permanent address. Yes. You can add in all the permanent address. Then I'll be adding another section called employee details with respect to the company. So that will be date of joining, employee type, status, department, designation, job title, etc. So I'm submitting it and a new employee form has been created. So we'll just see whether the creation process of a new employee works fine with that particular form. So you can see the list of forms here. So employee new form. So this is a way. So personal details, current address, permanent address, and employee details will be provided here. So this is the first thing. Right now, I'm going to show you one thing. Name is the only mandatory field here. So I can add a particular name. So I can add a name like Lazim, right? And I can simply, I'm not going to add any detail here, and I'm going to click on submit. And you can see a basic thing like Lazim, which comes under the designation of project manager and under the department projects, has been simply created. And I can go here, I can edit it if I want to. I can select all the different departments I've already created, the different designations I've already created. So this will be coming as a default thing. But the important thing to notice here is that the only mandatory field is name, right? And I can just give the name and create an employee. There will be situations in which, even though there are some mandatory fields set, we want conditional dependencies. And this is where the form guardian comes into picture. So how can we move forward with this? We can return back to form, and with respect to employee form new, there's a settings option. Here you will be able to set form guardians. How? I can add rules. So when it comes to creating an employee, what kind of a rule do you want to set? Can just anyone write something down in the chat box, and I'll be looking into it and I'll be creating some kind of dependencies for, like, for example, if you want, if it's a permanent employee, all right, so I can go like if the employee type is full time, then there should be an official email address here. So if you have given the employee type as full time and you have just have a vacant official email, space there or field there, it should show an error. I'm just, putting forward a simple use case or a situation, or maybe we'll work with that. All right. If it's a full-time employee, then you should provide an official email address. So I'm going to give the full name here. I'm not going to mention the date of birth. Marital status will be single. And yes, the employee type is full. Right now, I can provide it like this. I can simply submit it, right? No issues. But that shouldn't be the case. So I'm returning back and I'm going to edit. I'm going to add a role. What should be the name of this particular role that I'm going to add? Something like mandatory official email address. Mandatory official email address. And what should be the error message? Please add official email address. So few people will be wondering, isn't this an easy process if you simply give the official email address? If we keep it as a mandatory field, then everything is going to be easy, right? But that's not the case. For every employee that you're creating, you don't necessarily want the official email address. For some part-time employees, let's go back and let's see what are the different drop downs available under employee type. You can see part-time, intern, on contract, and everything. So if it's an on contract employee or if it's an intern, you don't have to necessarily give an official email address, right? So we cannot always keep official email field as a mandatory field. So in such situations where the dependency of official email address comes under employee type given here. So here, let's keep the employee type as full-time itself, and let's keep working on the rule. I'm going to add a filter here. So what will be the filter? What will be the filter? So if the employee type is full-time, then you need to add another filter, and which means both of these condition has to be satisfied. Then the official email is empty. So let me just explain it like this. When the employee type is full-time and when the official email address field is empty, then an error message will be showing that please add official email address. And I'm going to give a name for this rule, and that is mandatory official email address. So earlier, I can simply keep it like this, all the fields, and click on submit. And let's see what happens right now. We can just go here and employee type and official email. Yes, I've given everything right. The error message, the name and everything is shown. If you want to disable it, you can disable it as well. Let me just submit it. Yes. So this time we have the name, no other mandatory fields. Employee type is full-time, no official email given. I cannot submit things. Here you have an error message, a validation message. So some kind of an official email has to be given. So I could write azim.mubarak at something Gmail itself. We'll just go with Gmail itself and we'll submit it. So this is the case. And let me just remove this and I'm going to show it to you. Employee type, I'm keeping it as part-time. So employee type part-time, is there any dependency right now? Is there any rule right now associating both of them, the employee type and the official email address? No, so I can easily submit it. So that is the important thing. So conditional dependencies between fields can be introduced using Form Guardian. That's a very important point. This is the way in which we can work out. Okay, so I was expecting some messages in the chat box. If someone can provide me some particular conditions like this, then I'll be happy to work it out. Anyone? Okay, someone has asked me to, yes, Vedika has asked me to just open it once again and show the department section. The department section. Yes, so you have the date of joining, the employee type, the status, the department, the designation, the job title, and she has asked me to keep a validation when, yes, others is present, Vedika. So if the department is other, then you need to provide a job title, right? Yes, yes, yes. Let me just create another rule here. Okay, one very important thing I want to mention is that if you have multiple forms that you have created against employees, then for the first form and the third form, you have the same validation. You want to provide the same validation, then you have to go inside each of these forms and then provide those validations. That is very key. You cannot give a general validation for all the different forms and then add forms to the list or something like that. That doesn't work like it. Right now, you have to go inside each and every form. And if you have the same validation for multiple forms also, you have to create multiple rules against each of those forms. So that's important. So let's just go with the one that Vedika has asked me to. And I think, let me just confirm, mandatory job title. And what Vedika has asked me is to provide, please add job title. And when the department is other and the job title is empty. So if I'm selecting the department as other, then the job title should be empty. Shouldn't be empty. There should be something there. And if you have not entered it, like see like this, you will be getting a validation message like please add job title. Here I should be adding something. If it's other, if it's then estimations specialist, I need to add something there and I can submit it. So this is the way Form Guardian works. And as of now, Form Guardian only, that particular functionality works only under employee section. You can create multiple forms against all of the different modules that I've just shown to you earlier. I'm quite sure that everybody's aware of that. And right now under employees, we get the option to add rules of Form Guardians.